Hey, everybody. We live. This is Isha Nicole. I got the crew. B Starks in the building. What up, B Starks?
Hey, hey.
Got my girl, RG Breed, in the building.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey. And then two new faces in the box. T Morgan.
Hey, hey, what's going on?
And up in the corner. Got the coach, keep us all together. Coach Bonner, what it do?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Y'all, so just to recap, if you missed last night, you missed an event, right? Tell the people what they missed.
Ooh,
Ooh, wee. It was
power,
good.
powerful encouragement and enlightenment.
Raw and real.
Mm, B start.
Uh, I will say eventful. Eventful.
Yeah, I definitely was one motivated. I was encouraged. It was great to hear my people in the element. Sometimes you forget when you talk to people every day that they experts at what they do. And so it was really great to hear you, B Starks, Tracy, RG Breed, Jenny K last night, um, and Stephen
Don't forget,
Carter.
yeah, I was gonna say, don't forget our boy Stephen Carter,
Stephen
Mr.
Carter,
Carter.
he showed out, had us all ready to go back to college and figure out our life for $2. He gonna
The
have the
last
schools.
$2.
He gonna have the schools pay us to go because he got the ins and the outs. But the good thing is, I'm really looking forward to doing some additional events, bringing everybody back to speak to their areas of expertise. I want to do a 2 hour workshop with T Morgan. I want to do a 2 hour with RG. You know, 2 hour with Brother Starks. Even though we do two hours twice a week,
Yeah, we do, don't we?
and with Stephen Carter as well. So we had a great time. If you missed it, sorry you missed it. Keep an eye out for the next one. We recorded it though, right, B?
We did. So if anybody is interested, my students and others, they were excited. People that missed it because of working and or just life hitting them. But people that did watch it, they gave great feedback. They echoed how awesome, we all did, which was awesome. And RG Bree came in there and just showed out. So a lot of people were really feeling her. So if anybody's interested in the video, hit me up, hit Isha up, and we can make sure that you have access to the video. We'll send that to you.
Yeah, and I want to apologize too because I sent out, I guess, the wrong link. So it was a couple people who didn't get in last
Mm.
night.
Oh
Um,
man.
yeah, and so I should have just had you send me the link. Just make sure we were sending the right one.
Okay.
But they couldn't get in, so I'm gonna make sure that they get the recording and they get the video.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna jump right into it. So tonight we talking about relationships. We ain't talked about relationships in a while. We talked about business last couple days, and a little bit last week. So we're gonna jump into some relationships. And the topic I think I want to talk about is communication. What communication looks like in relationships. And you know, I had to bring Coach up because Coach dropped some knowledge on us a couple weeks ago. He talked about his three C's.
Fourth,
Coach, four. My bad.
Oh
One
yeah,
more.
I
It's
remember.
four.
I do remember.
So, Coach, you want to drop some knowledge about that?
yeah, the four C's. It's just and these are four C's that as you have birthdays, you just kind of understand the importance of one, communication, commitment, compromise, and consistency. And,
Mm.
and with those four, if one is the weakest link, then you're going to have some troubles in the other three. And you can use this in business, you can use it in relationships, friendships, any of those ships. You can use it in. If not, then that ship gonna sink. So those are my four C's, and you know, if you got any other C's that can add to it, hey,
Gonna add to it. So somebody drop those in the comments for me. The 4 C's. Coach, could you drop them one more time?
communication, commitment,
Do it.
consistency, and compromise. And there's no order. There's no order.
Communication, commitment, compromise, and
Consistency.
consistency.
I just like to start with communication and commitment, and then those other two, I either put them third or fourth. So
Cool. Thank you, B Starks. B Starks be on it. He be on it. Typing his 100 words a minute because I can't do it. I'll be like, thank you, B
Uh-oh.
Starks.
We got a hand up.
All right. Hey, go ahead, T. Morgan.
Coach Bonner, I have a question for you.
yes,
This is my first time meeting you. So I'm curious, where does compatibility fall in your opinion?
good question. I think compatibility is different for everybody. But I think the other four, I think is pretty consistent with anybody. But compatibility is important as well. So we can add that to the, now we got a fifth C.
Dang, we got 10 C's before we get off this call. Come on with the C words. I need y'all to scrabble.
You ain't Scrabble. What is going on?
I be scrabbling. All right, so talking about communication.
And can I add?
Yeah. You got another C, Coach?
No, it's probably not C. But I'm glad that you brought up compatibility, because I was married before, and I ended up I got with the wrong person, and sometimes you can get into a relationship, when that newness runs off, you realize that you're not compatible, and sometimes it can be too deep, and before you really realize it, or you want to pull back and be like, nah, this ain't it. So thank you for bringing that up.
You're more than welcome.
B Starks.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
B Starks. I see you.
Yep, you do. You know me. I like that, Tracy. I like that. And Coach, you hit home right there, because a lot of times we get caught up on the physical, we get caught up on what we see, and we tend to forget uh not to see, to see here, you
Right.
know. So when you're talking about compatibility, I love the fact that y'all brought that up, because it's not necessarily physically, the physical is going to go away at some point in time, but the substance of who you are
Absolutely.
is what's key. And I think that a lot of us, me myself, I know I have been guilty of it. You tend to forget the inside and focusing on what you need and what the other person needs. To me, that's where the compatibility. Do you guys believe in talking about conflicts? Do you guys, how do you handle conflicts? Do you believe in talking about your emotions? How do we manage our emotions so we're not flying off at the mouth at each other? So to me, how you guys handle those things, in a relationship, to me, that's the key to compatibility.
Exactly.
And of course, spiritually, and of course, that's the major component. But
Absolutely.
So, and I appreciate you for saying that, Brian, because I think when we talk about compatibility in relationships, oftentimes people really get that confused of what that is. So they think compatibility, so we like the same things, right? We can chill together, we can whatever. When the reality is, let's just look at the definition of compatibility, right? It says a state in which two things are able to exist or occur together without problems or conflict.
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
So, to your point, you have to be able, one, to communicate within your relationship. Because when you think about resolving conflicts or avoiding conflicts, right, it starts with communication. It's not like, do we like the same things? And that's what
Oh, I
often,
see where you're going.
yeah. So oftentimes people think, okay, are we compatible? Is, do we like the same things? Do we like the same hobbies? Um, do she like what I like, or he like what I like? And that's not it. So it starts with the ability, one, to resolve conflict, and that begins with communication. You got to be an active listener. There's so many things that go into that start with you first.
True.
So, but anyway, that's my soapbox. What you think, RG? You gonna keep us together?
I think all of those are important, and I think we gonna have to throw in an honorable mention: cohabitation. You know, uh, am I still with you guys? Somebody was trying to call me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all of those communication. I think if we go down the list, the first thing with communication is percent of listening is not what you said, but how I perceive what you said. Right? When you communicate, that's a two-way street. Right? You can say one thing and I heard something else. From where my place of understanding is. I had a friend who her husband said, "Oh, girl, you so stupid." Can I tell you that almost broke up their marriage because she has an inferiority complex about where her education is. He had doctor in front of his name, and she never finished high school. So when he said, "Oh my God, you are so stupid," right? That's how he said it. He was like, as in crazy, as in funny. That's not what she heard. That's not what she heard. And that almost took them to divorce court because her place of understanding, you can't hear past what you can't understand. So I think when the good fella said communication was first, I think that is one of the most important things. I think that's me. I think that's big, that's huge.
I agree. And I think in relationships too, we got to be really mindful and careful of our words, because
Right.
those words cut deep.
Right.
And something that was, just kind of said in jest to her went to the core of her insecurity.
Right.
And so that's a way to turn a woman off real quick.
Right. What you said and what I heard.
Right, real quick, like
Right.
or even when I said what you heard.
Right. Right.
where
Right.
them words landed, in my psyche. It wasn't what's up. So yeah, we got to be real careful. So thank you, Coach, for your C's. Thank you, Tracy and RG Breed, for cohabitation. So we're going to keep in the same vein. Let's come on with some more C words. What about compassion?
You
better preach tonight.
I mean, I'm just
Passion. Yeah.
oftentimes. Go ahead. Go ahead, B.
Oh, no, you go. You good.
You good. Go ahead. I got to type 10
I
words.
I think that is, man, y'all on the roll tonight. I'm over here racking my brain trying to figure out a C. But I think compassion is, that encompasses a lot because that kind of ties back to, as we talked about and heard yesterday on our call, as far as us Black brothers, how hard we have it. Like sisters, we know y'all have it hard. You raising them kids, you taking care of the kids, and it's mama this, mama that, mama this. But us brothers were built to hold down everybody. God put us in that position of authority. And it's not only crazy that we get beat up. I know this week I've been beat up, tore up from the floor up. I mean, just man, and I'm still trying to process, everything and the struggles that I've had this week. But compassion, that's where it comes in. We got to have compassion for one another. Brothers, coach, iron sharpens iron, my brother. So whatever you
That's
got
right.
going on, I got you, my guy. I got you.
Mhm.
That's that
Likewise.
compassion, you
Yeah.
know. Miss Tracy, I feel you with your struggles, the things that you shared that were dear and personal to your heart. Appreciate that for sharing compassion. You know, Isha Nicole may get on my nerves, and I be just want to put her in the headlock sometimes,
Not a headlock.
but there's always compassion. We like Batman and Robin up in this thing, but we have compassion for one another.
Mhm.
RG Bree, you showed me a lot of compassion, in some of my struggles that we talked about offline. So
That
I
was an
think
accident. That was an accident. I
that
didn't
was an
mean.
accident. Just see, regardless of the fact, it
She
is
said
still
she meant the other
compassion.
C word, contention, but she missed
Yeah.
it.
I think it's still all compassion, whether it was intentional or non-intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I,
and go ahead,
I
RG.
think, and I think when you talk about relationships and the two gentlemen can speak to us and speak to me, speak to me. When you talk about compassion in a relationship, most women want a man who's compassionate. But from what I heard from the brothers, when you show compassion in an argument, you get called a punk. You get called a wimp. You get called some other words that I won't say on this nice Christian line. That is that why a lot of brothers withhold compassion from us, or have you guys never been taught how to be compassionate? Did it so why is it so hard for us to get that, especially as black women? Why is that so hard for us to get compassion?
Can I?
Coach, I'm gonna
I know
pass
we
that one.
all like,
I'm gonna let you jump in that one, Coach. I'll follow up.
We can't.
oh, you muted. You muted, coach. You might have to go out and come back in. Like if you get a call, you gotta go out and come back in.
Ah, so he
That
Uh,
coming
means
back.
that means tag
Um,
your turn, B.
that's all good. I'm like Coach. I stay ready,
you
so
stay
I ain't got to
ready.
get ready. RG Bree, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that, the egos, what I'm saying, of men, because if we show weaknesses or vulnerabilities, then, you know, men consider, they call us weak. Oh, you weak, you know. And then women with fly mouths that show all this masculinity, then they also beat us down with, oh, you weak. Why? Because I'm doing what Christ asked me to do, because I'm trying to be more like him. Or maybe that's just who we are. So I think to answer your question, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's
Amazing.
definitely and as we talked about in previous calls, the father was absent in a lot of our lives. There's only few people, maybe 30-40% of men that actually grow up with their father. Fathers are absent. The numbers are very high. I know that. So I think that there was nobody to teach us that, especially if mom had to put on that masculinity. She didn't have time to be compassionate and nurturing. She didn't have time to teach us that. So I think it's both.
Mm. Coach, hold on. Let me.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep, you good.
All right. No, Brian, I agree with that. And being able to, when we talk about vulnerability, a lot of times we didn't grow up seeing that. Um, and, and as you were speaking about, you know, our queens, if they got those fly mouths, 9 times out of 10, whatever you were vulnerable, that vulnerable information get thrown in your face
Mm,
during an argument. And so now it's like, oh, I can't trust you with information because now you're going to throw it in my face.
I agree. I
mhm.
agree. I think it takes a willingness to really understand one another. That's first and foremost. And when I'm gonna speak for myself. I ain't gonna speak for y'all brothers. Y'all can speak for yourself. I'm gonna speak for me. If I'm dating someone and I realize that communication is an area of opportunity for them, it's important for me that we work on that, right? I'm not gonna proceed and continue in a relationship when I realize that that's an area of opportunity for you. We got to work on that from day one, whether it means getting a counselor and allowing the counselor to give us tools to communicate. But sometimes we enter into relationships with people who lack the skills that's necessary to have a healthy relationship. And then we almost group the whole class of men because we chose the one person who didn't have the ability or the skills that was necessary. And so at some point, we got to start taking a responsibility for that.
Can I say something?
Yep.
For me, as a single woman, seasoned single woman, how far do you let that go when you recognize the communication is off? Because I know where I am, and some people feel like, oh my gosh, you should have just talked about it and so forth. And I'm just like, I'm 48 years old. You know,
40 anything.
40 anything.
40
you know,
anything.
40 anything. And I know how I communicate. I know how I carry myself. Yes, have fun, enjoy life. At the same time, at what point should I say, okay, why is he constantly texting me versus calling me? Or, wow, was that why is he sensitive on this subject and couldn't go further? Or why is it when I just, I'm trying to communicate with him, I can tell that this game is more important? That aspect of communication. Because so like for me, I know what I had to overcome. But I also, and to me, communication also goes into trauma response. That's what I was trying to go about earlier as well, because I know what I had to overcome. I was blessed to have two sets of parents. So, and my father was very active in my life, although he went back to Jersey, but I went back and forth. So I had activity because my dad would show up in North Carolina like, you cutting up and say, you did what to your mama? So having that kind of influence, there's a level of expectation that was kind of put in me of how communication should be with couples. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I know sometimes I over communicate in a good way because I want to make sure I'm understood, but how you respond or lack of, or just being surface. How long am I going to let that go on? Am I going to waste my time in this dating stage? Am I going to give this, okay, it's been maybe I'm going to give you a couple weeks. I look at things different. I see courting and then dating. I'm kind of old school a little bit because I deserve it. And there was a lot of stuff I can admit I didn't have because I intentionally worked on myself. I had to learn communicate because I could blow up. I used to have a temper. I told Isha, I told you my little slogan was, you want Miss New Jersey or you want Southern Belle? Who you want today? You want Miss Jersey Shore? What you want? And I had to grow to say, that has to go. How I communicate, how I handle myself. And at that point is, if I'm demanding this of myself and I'm giving this, what do I expect the man to bring to me, even in dating? So.
I know RG Bree about the bus at the scene.
But I'm sorry. I mean, my bad. I was looking over here. Okay.
Go ahead, RG. You can go and take it.
RG.
No. When Lovely was talking, what another honorable mention C word came to my mind was combat skills. Coach, can we add that one on?
No.
Why?
And no,
Why?
Yeah.
Or we can put conflict resolution.
There you
oh,
go. There you go.
There you go.
okay. And the reason why I said that is when we were talking about compassion and she was talking about communication, some people don't know how to argue. Some people don't know how to have conflict resolution. It turns into combat skills.
Right.
We're talking about the fact that you don't stay in the budget, and next out of your mouth, you talk about my mama. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And so now we, so I think, especially in our community, when you lack the communication skills that Coach was talking about, you just automatically flip that thing over and it becomes combat. You know what I mean? Why are we fighting? We should be discussing. We should be in resolution. We should be in problem solving. We fight enough with the world outside. And I got to come home and knock if I buck with you. That's a problem. And it's a big problem in our community because we don't go back to Coach's number one, communicate. So I think we need to honorable mention. Y'all can change the word if you want to, but it's combat skills. It's war.
But I have a question. Is it just our community? Or I feel that's in every community.
See, I don't know because I don't know because for me, this may be a whole nother show, but I've only dated inside of the chocolate world.
Gotcha.
And I have friends who have husbands who are not, melanated, and their conversation sounds different. Their conflict resolution, their communication is different. And so I don't know whether or not that's just those particular men and them, because all the women are black and all the men are white or something else. But their communication skills are different. A lot of them, when they fight, it ends up maybe gaslighting, or it ends up being you're less than. And so I don't know whether or not that's a Chocolate City thing or it's them. I'm just saying it sounds like combat in our community.
Gotcha.
And I think part of that really speaks to that PTSD that we all experience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's a certain level that PTSD that we deal with as a community. And so it manifested ways and traumatic responses, right? And so I'm really careful about, there are some things that are issues that are isolated directly to our community, but I'm really careful in saying they don't argue, right?
Right.
Obviously, because I be watching the news and they be on the news, okay, where the argument went way out of bounds and somebody in jail, somebody now got a mugshot. So I think one, to your point, Tracy, you asked the question about like how long do you have to sit in it? I think, and I'm gonna just speak to people who are spiritually led and who have discernment. It's almost like when you see something arise that's negative, you can do one or two things. You can address it or you can leave it be. Now, when you leave it be, you got to deal with the consequences that come from that, right? If you know he can't communicate, you know he condescending, or you know he gaslight, you can stay in the relationship as is and agree to accept the gaslighting, the condescending words, him not affirming you. Or once you start to see that behavior, you can say, hey, listen, here are the things that I witnessed in your communication style. Here is a solution. Let's schedule counseling once a week to help us communicate. Right? And they don't want to do it. He don't want to change, whatever. And then you have to govern yourself accordingly. But to your point, when you 40 something, just like I said a couple lives ago, I don't have expectations. I got requirements. And one of those requirements is that you communicate properly. Why? Because I'm not going to sit and allow you to talk to me crazy. I'm too old. Okay, my mom ain't talked to me crazy. My daddy ain't talked to me crazy. And I'm sure not about to give you permission to talk to me crazy. So as soon as
What if E crazy is all he know?
Again,
Then that's
we
not
got
for
the
me.
option.
Then
I'm
that's
just
not
playing
for
the
me.
advocate now.
We can go
I'm
to counseling and let the counselor and the good people over there at what is it, Talkspace, give us the tools that are necessary or
See,
not.
Isha, you're speaking from the point of in the relationship. At some point, for me, my communication as where I am in single and meeting and dating, this is in the first 1 to 3 weeks. How you handle me. That so we're coming, but right. So go ahead.
Okay, so is that a requirement for you
It's a
in
requirement.
dating?
So when you were saying the counseling, when I think counseling and with a gentleman, that means we're in a relationship. If
Okay,
if I'm being courted or we're starting to date and the communication's not there, hey, this is just not working out. I hope the best for you. We are just not we're not compatible in the area of communication. You know,
again, you still only got two options, whether you
right.
dating or in a relationship. It's still two options. Either to
Gotcha.
say, hey, listen, this is one of the things that I see in regards to your communication. Are you willing to take the steps that's necessary to get the tools to communicate better? And if that answer is no, then you need to govern yourself accordingly. That's whether you are dating, courting, in a relationship, no matter what. That goes back to those requirements,
Yes.
right? For me, if the man has an issue or a deficit, and I bring that to your attention, and you're not willing to address that deficit, you don't hit that requirement for me. So it's no reason for us to even move forward because I'm 40 something.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I ain't got time. Mm-mm. I ain't got time.
So let me ask
Go ahead, coach.
let me ask this. I'm just asking a question and just try to get you guys' opinion. When do you believe that it's more ego than lack of communication?
Ego on who?
I'm just saying if you feel like one person can't communicate the way that you want in your early stages and your requirements or your standards, do you think ego plays a part in it? Because when the ego takes over, the mind shuts down. And so I think when we're in that newness stage, and you may say, hey, you know what, can I just get some communication from you just to know that, hey, I crossed your mind or something like that. But if that person can go 48 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours without communicating with you, and they say, well, I don't have to do that or anything like that. Do you think ego plays a part in that?
So we talked about this. Well, I posted it about a week ago. I said, when you're dating, do you have an obligation to call the person that you're dating daily? And I got some mixed responses.
Well, fill me in on that because I didn't catch that.
You didn't catch that on my Facebook. Okay, so I'll just pose the question and then we'll have some dialogue around it. And I want each one of y'all to answer that question. We're gonna start with B Starks. B Starks, if you're dating someone, are you obligated to call that person every single day?
I don't want to say it's an obligation, but I think a conversation. Hey, what are we doing here? Uh, because depending on your lifestyle, you may not be able to communicate every day. Now, me personally, I think it's a must because how do you go from point A to point B? How do you go from courtship? How do you go from dating? How do you go from relationship or long-term relationship into marriage without communicating with that person every single day? I
Okay.
think it just has to be an understanding. Now, if both of y'all If y'all in two different cities and y'all workaholics, then maybe that works for you. But again, uh, conversations definitely.
Archie, breathe. And dating, you got to talk every single day.
People make time for who they want to make time for.
Say it. Say it.
That part.
Amen.
And you have to understand. Love who loving you, take care of who taking care of you, and pray for everybody else. See, when you can go that long without talking to me, that ain't the problem. The problem is when I don't care. Now we got a problem. And I think in communication, in relationships, you have to talk every day. See, you'll get that talk every day when the representative is on the payroll. When they're trying to hook you, and that goes for woman and man. You get all the lovey-dovey, you get all the talking, you get all the everything that you're required when the representative has been employed. Now, when that contract is up with the representative, see, because it take a whole lot to keep doing something you don't want to do. Right? If you require to call me every day, talk to me every day, communicate with me every day, that's gonna get tired once you realize you're not getting what you want. Right? If I say I need to talk to you every day, that becomes a part of the requirement. I got to talk to her every day. So it's not a big deal. But people make time for who they want to make time for. I am sometimes one of the most busiest persons. And I can make time 15 minutes in the toilet, in the bathroom, on the way to the meeting, from the meeting, at the 15-minute break. Hey, baby, I ain't talked to you all day. You was on my mind. I just wanted to say hi. Oh, gotta go. We'll meet you back in. Click. I love you. Bye. Click. That's all it takes. They know I'm busy. I know they busy.
Mm-hmm.
But you make time for who you want to make time for. So anything else is mud in the water. I don't want to hear it.
All right, T. Morgan. I'll ask the question. In dating, do you have to talk every day?
For me at dating stage, yes. Courting stage, no. But dating for me, because dating means we're exclusive. We've become exclusive. So go ahead, Coach. Ask your question. I think I know where you're going, but go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Coach, and then I'll speak.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask you. So
wait, let
when
me ask the question.
All right, let me go ahead.
So, Coach, when you're dating, do you have to talk to the person or call them every day?
Yes. Yes, and I I agree with what everyone else have said, because if I can't communicate with you in our early stages, and I can't talk to you every day to build that trust, to build that consistency of communication, then now we feel like we're just pen pals, and I'm too old to be a pen pal, and so I guess that's just how I feel like when I'm dating, I'm courting. I feel like I need to talk to you every day.
Somebody tap me in. Somebody
ahead.
asked me the question.
Isha.
Yes.
When dating, do you have to talk to that person every day?
No. Okay. Now, let me answer why. First of all, to Tracy's point, I believe there is a difference between dating and courting. If I am dating, the root word of dating is data. That means I'm getting data from other people. Okay? If I am courting or he's courting me, that means he is pursuing a relationship with me.
Right.
If we are in the courting stage, that's different. Sure. Right. I'm going to talk to you every day. But if we are dating, I got other people to get data on. So I'm going to jump in the comments real quick. So Aisha, hey girl. She says, in the dating stage, you want constant communication? Question mark. Will, the poet, hey brother, says communication is a must. He need to tap in. Will, jump in. Go ahead and hit the link. We need you up here because
Hey, we'll jump in here, boy. We finna shift gears up in this
We gonna
mug.
go
That brother finna have a poem, and it's gonna be on.
on communication. He gonna
Ain't
take
nobody
all
have
of
that.
them C
ain't,
words.
ain't nobody scared of Will I Am. Tell him to bring it on.
He gonna
Boy,
take all
he
of them
finna.
C words and make it a whole poem.
Now, Coach, you
Why
said a
you looking
legend.
at him like that, Asia? You know he gonna take the challenge.
I know. He gonna take all the C words. And so he picking on me right now. He says, Isha Nicole, how do you feel about communication? And again, I think that when you're in a relationship, communication is a must. I think, however, when you are dating, I think the expectation of daily communication is a little bit unrealistic. But if we decide that we are courting, meaning you are courting me, you are interested in a relationship with me, and I'm interested in a relationship with you, then I believe that we should progress, because that's more serious, to start establishing standardized communication. We talking every single day, and I am learning more about who you are, and we having a touch base, and there's constant communication between us. But I think to expect that when you're dating is unrealistic.
So let me ask you something.
Yeah, the brothers is busted at the seams. Go ahead.
So Tracy,
Oh,
so when you're exclusively dating, you're not communicating every day.
exclusive. So
That's
for
courting.
me, exclusively dating is courting.
Is
So
that that's courting?
That's courting for me. We
Yeah.
are communicating every day.
Yep. And I agree with that.
We're
You're
exclusive.
courting.
No one else. No one else is getting my time. No one else is getting your time. We're
Right.
both looking to see where this can go in the long haul.
Got you.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. And so
That's
JC,
what- I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no,
Finish.
go ahead. I was just gonna jump in the comments. Go ahead.
No comments.
So JC says it depends. If that person is trying to move from dating to courting, then they should be talking to me multiple times a day. I agree with that. Totally. Aisha says she agrees with that. JC said again, if I don't feel important, then I'm not going to take you seriously. RG Breeze.
I agree with that.
I feel like my time is the most precious thing that I have. I can't get it back. So if you don't feel that I'm worth your time, you're not worth my effort. Dating, not dating, courting, not courting. I stand on that hill. People make time for who they want to make time for in whatever phase you're in. And I think and that goes, everybody has to make that communicate, everybody has to make that hill for themselves. Me standing on that hill, you don't make time for me in whatever stage we at, whatever's applicable for that stage, I'm out of here, done. You talk about being 47, wait till you get 57.
Facts.
Say, wait till you get 57. You talk about time and people making that effort to be in your space, taking your call, checking on you and see how you're doing. That's big. Because see, a third of the people I know gone. Because I'm over there here. I'm 57. I'm not playing about that time. I'm not playing about that communication. I'm not playing about any of them C's we done talked about. I'm not playing about that. You want to have a whole flip me over and get a brand new me. You start Xing them things out, and they're not important. They are life-changingly important. So, on any hill you want to bump, you need to talk to me.
Y'all,
We need to communicate.
I don't know. We talking about a 24-hour period, y'all. Like 24 hours. That's it. 24 hours. We ain't saying it's been 48 hours and I ain't hear from you.
But see, here's the thing. If we establish that you're busy, like you're really a really busy person, right? So communication for you could be, hey, beautiful, just you had you on your mind. Just wanted to say hi. I know you're busy. I'll chat it up with you tomorrow.
Yep.
If that's what your communication is daily, cool. If mine is pick up the phone call on your way in the bathroom, brushing your teeth, whatever. If mine is I need to hear your voice, then I only need 2 minutes. Hey, big girl, what's going on? I just thought about you. Want to say hi, see how your day was, just checking in. I ain't got a whole lot of time to talk. I got to get on this call. I got that. But you got to make time for me. You got to make time for me so I know that I'm important to you. That's my heel. That's my heel. I understand you busy, you vetting other people, but you better call me because that's the quickest way to get bumped off the list for me.
B Starks. B Starks. I see you over there brewing.
I'm over here typing my thoughts as we're speaking, as I'm listening to you guys. So, one thing that I will say is that to me, and again, no one misconstrue what I said. I agree. It should be, but then again, you have people that it's whoever the people are, whatever works for them. But what works for us, I think we all agree that it's a must.
Yeah.
With that being said, I believe what you do in the beginning stages of dating,
Yeah.
courtship, relationship, and marriage. Well, let me take that back. Let me say it again. What you do in the beginning stages morphs what type of relationship you're going to have with consistency. Your representative all day long, and RG Bree is big on the representative, and we've talked about this before. But what I'm saying is the things I did to get you to pursue you are the same things personally I'm gonna do to keep you because I don't want no other Joe Schmoes coming. You can't come on B Starks. Hey, you got
Come
to
on,
do it
B.
bigger and better than B Starks for real, for real.
Say that then.
You
Say
know,
that then, B Starks.
so I think it goes both ways and hand in hand. Whatever a woman does in the beginning stages or a man does, it morphs what type of relationship that you're gonna mold it and have.
Amen.
I appreciate you saying that, B Starks.
Yep.
Standing on that
Now,
hill.
does things do things slow down? Absolutely, because now you guys are settling into the relationship. You're settling into it. However, that's just a pause to say, okay, let's get back to the new. Let's get back to the new and keep this thing fresh and going because it's easy for somebody to slide in them DMs because brothers don't mind being your friend. They could be your friend forever. Only
Hmm.
thing a brother is waiting on, and coach help me out. A brother waiting on that opportunity for brother mess up.
That one
Yeah,
opportunity.
that one.
That's why I don't do same sex friends.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
I don't either.
Yeah. Or opposite
I,
sex.
People that I have been with in my past, I don't do. We not friends.
2024.
I
2024, y'all.
was like, wait a minute. What you
Yeah.
sorry, sorry,
2024.
be sorry.
Opposite sex
She
friends.
messed it up. She messed
Yeah.
up the concentration. We have our concentration. I do apologize.
Sorry, B
Misha,
Star.
Misha, mute your phone. Mute your line. Mute your line.
Okay, one
Mute
second.
your-
Y'all, we gotta jump in the comments. Okay. So JC says, well, I think nowadays this can be different because many people don't want to talk on the phone. Most of a younger generation don't call. So I agree with that. And I'm kind of like, I'm borderline, I'm the last year of the millennial. And so I understand that aspect. For me personally, I speak on the phone all day. And if anybody has been with me for an extended period of time, y'all know I got 3 phones and they ring all the time. And you know what? When I'm with the person who my person, I don't want to talk. I just want to get under your t-shirt and just be quiet. Cause I've been talking all day. I just want to sit. I just want to be quiet. So please don't expect me to call. But if I could just come through and sit and be quiet, that's what I want to do.
But that's your level of communication, E. And that's consistent. That's how you communicate. Snuggling. And so if old dude understand that's what you want to do, and that's how you communicate, then that people make time for who they want to make time for. So that means you need to make time for some snuggle time, for some quiet time. You need to be able to let me free my mind. That's, again, people make time for who they want to make time for in whatever way that looks like for everybody individually. You got to find a person who like to get snuggled. But some people don't want to be snuggled. Girl, gone. That ain't your dude then.
Facts.
Sounds like, if I can jump in to on that, it sounds like that's when the importance of learning love language comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Learning your person's love language.
Yeah.
Sound like that was an act of service, what Miss Isha was talking about. That's just kind of
Yeah.
how I looked at that. That's act of service.
And actually, we were gonna jump into love languages, and so
Yeah.
real quick, do we have any other C words before we jump into love language? Any other
Yep.
C words?
We sure do. And
All right.
I posted them. Confident, creative, caring, and courageous.
Oh, those are good.
Oh yeah.
Let me say it again. I'm gonna say it slower. Coach, you got it. Confident, us brothers, confident, creativity, caring ladies, and courageous.
You want to speak to that B start? So you just gonna drop the words?
I dropped the mic.
I feel you. It's necessary. I've got another C word, and it's chemistry.
Ooh.
And it's chemistry because let me tell you, it's nothing better than when you have great chemistry with a person and you are in the midst of that person. You ain't got to say nothing,
That part. Oh, I'm sorry.
honey. And you will read and learn all of the things that you need to know. So go ahead, RG.
I have an honorable mention on the C word,
Yes, ma'am.
clowning around.
Facts. Put that.
You got to have fun. You got to be able to clown
Fun.
around.
Okay.
So I think that's because some people's life is so serious. You got to be able to have somebody who you can cut up with, clown around with. You do. You got to have somebody you can cut up, clown, laugh, joke. So that's got to be in the honorable mentions.
Yeah, because you have to be authentic.
Yeah.
And I know I've been in relationships where through communication, whether it was verbal or just their demeanor and so forth, I could not truly be authentically me. And that true clowning around, how I have fun, and it wasn't accepted. It was like, why are you acting weird? You know, it was like, okay. And that's where I go back to compatibility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I brought that up. So thank you for bringing that up, RG.
Yeah.
She behaving tonight. Oh,
Yeah. It's not
She got
easy
the
being
trouble last.
green. Oh, I'm trying to hold in the water. I'm trying to hold it in the water.
She got in trouble last.
Well, I said I was gonna be good on these little calls because
All right. Any other C words, family? Oh, wait, Tracy, you had courtship.
yes.
All right. Let's see. Anything else?
Candor. I think candor is a big one. I think people are not candid. They're not standing in their truth. So I think that's a big one.
Candor.
I don't know how to say this as an honorable mention, so I need y'all to help me. I I am very big on a person going through their healing from childhood trauma. So counseled, maybe. I don't know where that
Yeah,
falls.
Yeah, I think
But
yeah.
counseling is not always medically, with a quote unquote therapist in that aspect because healing can come in different forms. Um,
But I
but
think, but I think to say what you said, Tracy, I agree. I think your mate should be your counsel. You should be able to get in counsel. They should be able to say, okay, babe, let's throw it in the middle of the street. I think they should act like a counselor on some level to be able to help you move to the next. I think that's a good one. That's definitely an honorable mention, in my opinion.
Now I see that a little bit differently. I feel you on that. Coach, help me out.
I'm listening.
For me,
you always rally your troops. Go ahead.
as a leader, as I've developed to this leadership role in all phases of my life, whether it was with husband, with my kids, with jobs, and even in my business, one of the main things that I learned is that I have to listen to my counsel.
Yes.
In a relationship, I have to take that same approach. My bae, I got to listen to her counsel. How can I be an effective leader in a leadership position in corporate America or even with my business? And especially, most importantly, with the person I'm waking up to, or I'm talking to, or I'm putting in that commitment to. How can I be the best I can be if I don't listen to her counsel? You know, Isha, check me if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? I need you. Don't do it to me crazy now. Don't come like RG Breed. Don't come like that. Just give it to me. You know what I'm saying? To where I can receive it,
Right.
and then you know what I'm saying. And then I can be like, oh, okay, you what? I apologize. I talked to you a little aggressively. I apologize. Let me, you know, because awareness is everything. And you can tell if a brother is, you can tell what type of brother he is if he's willing to listen to counsel.
That's good there. That's good.
And that's good to your point, B Starks. When I as you were talking and I thought about it, the vision that I have is a king and a queen. When you look at successful kings, they always have a queen that gives counsel.
Yep,
Always.
absolutely.
Can I throw in some history? In some
Mhm.
cultures who have kings and queens, you will get your tongue cut out of your head for having a conversation with the queen, because the queen has the ear of the king who makes the decisions for the land. She was untouchable. You couldn't talk to her. To have a council with the queen without armor bearers being there, you can get your tongue cut out. So
Right.
that is very serious, and a whole lot of folks walk around with no tongues in their mouth because they well, if we can get the ear of the queen, she can convince the king. The
mm,
pillow talk,
That's
you
pillow
know.
talk. That's where that comes from.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from, pillow talk. And so I think that is very important for the brothers to understand, um, that I'm not stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to serve you in all the ways of service. And when I say, baby, don't, honey, I don't think that's wise. You might not want to dismiss me or find counsel in your friends or somebody else. And Lord, please don't go talking to nobody else, them work wives and all that other stuff.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Bad move, my brother. Bad move.
And really quick, I just want to speak to how we are different and what you call it?
Monogamy.
Anonymically. Okay.
Oh,
So, women, men are very tunnel vision. Y'all don't know it, but y'all can see straight line. That's why when you say, "Hey, baby, can you go get me that mustard out the fridge?" Y'all like this, right? And that's the same reason if we out in the store, you got to turn your head to look at that sister that walked by, right? That's why y'all about to get beat up because y'all got tunnel vision,
concentration.
right? It just goes straight. Women have a larger peripheral vision.
Yeah.
So we can see wide. We can look at the brother that walked by without even turning our head. We done seen Everywhere we done seen him walk all the way by. Y'all ain't even noticed. That's because we have a wider peripheral vision. And so even the creator knows that in order for us to see everything, I need you and your tunnel vision, and I need me with my wider peripheral. So it's critically important that you take counsel from the queen.
Right.
I just said that.
I know you want it, B stars.
Y'all are complimenting each other. So bam, tag team back.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
hey. So, so I added cuddle since that came up. I added cuddle as a C word.
Yeah.
And one of the words I want to add to is cherish. I think honor is important. We as wives should honor our husbands, our spouses, our partners, and the same. You brothers should honor your wives and cherish them.
Can I dip in when you
Yes,
talk
ma'am.
about cherish?
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
under the C word communication, but I
Mhm.
think the love language that we use with each other is so important when times get quiet and things get settled. How you answer your mate is important. Babe, what? Come on now. You know, you know, and use lovely words. Beloved, beautiful, king, precious. You use words that cuddle and hold them in a special and sacred place. I don't think he should be talked to hard and strong, and I don't think she should be talked to hard and strong. I think that there has to be a love language, and I mean a physical communication language between the two people. I think that's important. I mean, y'all speak to that. Could it just be me and my Harlequin romance kind of stuff?
Now you good.
Because
You on point.
You want it.
And RG Bree, I got one for y'all. Coach, I got you.
I was about to type that, coach.
Let's
Okay, go
go.
ahead. Go
Let's
ahead, B.
go, B.
Isha talked about what was your cherish about how ladies honor, you know what I'm saying, the men and their partners and their husbands. So, coach, we brothers, we gotta cover our women.
That's right.
We gotta
Hey,
cover
hey,
them.
hey.
That's right. That's
Let
right.
me let me say it like RG, like she be messing with me all the time. Ladies, we have to cover our women.
And thank you, Be Smart.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
it. And just
no doubt.
can you brothers, and I'm gonna hand this to the both of y'all. Can y'all just talk about what it means to cover? Just in case the people in the back don't know what that means.
Man.
And I'm gonna mute for that. I ain't gonna.
Go ahead, coach.
Let me break it down a little bit. When you found that person, um, that you say, you know what, I want to try to outlove you every day, and no matter what we go through, I want to make sure that I can hold your hand and stand in the rain. Uh, and we're gonna put our backs together, and you know what, no matter what, I'm gonna cover you. If it's 110 degrees or if it's below zero, I'm gonna stand there with you and hold your hand. And that's it. That's all I got.
Man, I don't know how to follow up with that, man. That was powerful right there. Um, so when I think of cover, I think of that in a multitude of ways. My first initial mind is cover her with prayer. Cover her in the spirit of God because that's what it talked about, as far as husbands, with that's how you cover your wives. So then culture like this one, my other thing about covering her is protection. I cover her with my love. I cover her with my spirit. I cover her with my leadership. You know what I'm saying? So then she knows women need consistency, security, and they need to feel protected. They need to feel like I can trust you with my heart. I can. So those are the things that I think of. Um, and I hadn't always thought that, but I done learned some
Right.
things. I done learned some things along the way that helps me evolve. But covering in prayer and with the Lord, putting on that suit of armor, and then covering her with protection with my protection. Tracy, you look beautiful today. So then that way, ain't no other brother. Her brother's gonna tell her that every day, but she want to hear it from the man that she with every day. She wants to hear it from me. Tracy, you're beautiful today. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning, gorgeous. How you doing, Queen? I'm covering her. If we out and about, like Coach mentioned, I got my arm around the small of her back. I'm protecting her. I'm covering her with my masculinity. you know so I mean, I think when we talk about cover, we can break that down in so many ways, but to me, those are really some key things that I think about when I say cover.
And also, I'm gonna add to that because you said something that had my light bulb go off. We can cover our women by with our actions as well, more than just our words.
Well said, Coach. Well said.
Because
Listen,
talk is cheap.
It is.
okay. Y'all, can we just, where's the mic? Because y'all dropped it. Y'all showed out tonight. Just listen, I've echoed this sentiment before. I'm so glad I ain't got no scrubs in my life. You hear me? I appreciate you, brothers, for real, for real. But setting the standard. I ain't taking no shorts because y'all in my life. Can't nobody come approach me with no foolishness.
That's
Cause
right.
I know what the standard is.
We got brothers. We have
For real.
examples.
For real.
I have a quick question. I was shocked. It just hit me when we were talking. Where does charity fall in line on the C?
Absolutely.
Charity.
I'm a leave that to the brothers. I'm gonna pose since Coach, he's been coaching and y'all been pinging and holding each other down, and there's three women. I'm gonna throw it to the brothers. The question first. And just quick because I think Isha was probably about to start wrapping up, so I didn't want to go over too
Oh,
much.
you good. You good.
Oh, okay, so listening to covering and just all of these seeds that are out here, and regardless of religion, everything is rooted in love, regardless of what deity or who you believe in. All of them have the foundation of love, which is charity. So how do you all demonstrate love, demonstrate charity? Because love is an action. People keep forgetting it's something that's demonstrated. It's not just, oh, I love you. Well, no, it is shown in action. Coach, charity you.
Yeah. Charity. Um, I think like you said, it is an action, and but you got to do that from day one, um, till the wheels fall off. And that's where the consistency comes from. Because I grew up in the South. I grew up in Birmingham, so you know, folks down there, them seasoned folks, they always got some phrase that they say, and so when one won't, the other one will.
Yeah.
You better believe it. So if you can't keep that consistency and showing her, don't. Hey, I know we got some poets on the line, but them words after so long, if she can't trust you and she can't depend on you, um, it's gonna be hard, but it's fair, sad, but it's true. As my grandfather used to say.
Coach
So,
always say that. Coach always say that.
but
Be
go ahead, B.
I don't got too much on that. Go ahead, B.
B starts.
Um, I think Tracy touched on it. I think all of you, RG Bree, you touched on it. Coach, you touched on it. Ish, you touched on it. When you talk about cherish, it is, it's like love. It's an action word. It's not something that it's something you do. You know, but you can cherish a person with words of affirmation, acts of service. You can cover them with physical touch. So all of the love languages, quality time. Okay, so cherishing, I think all of the five different love languages, even giving gifts, and it doesn't have to be $1,000 gift. It could just be as simple as one flower, you know, just a flower, 12, $20 flower or something like that. So I think cherish is an act of service and action.
I agree with that. I agree with that because when you think of charity, you think of generosity.
Giving.
Yeah, and giving, and it's not always gifts. I appreciate you, Brian, for saying that it's not always gifts, but it's really giving of yourself. One of the most important things, and I know you asked the brothers, you ain't asked me, but I think it's important that you focus on giving to your partner. Like that should be kind of your focus is giving. That's it. If I give all of myself to you and you give all of yourself to me, we good. All of our needs will be met. So I added charity to one of the C words, and there was one other one. Oh, companionship. And I'm typing the words in the chat if anybody is kind of taking notes. If you just jump over in the chat, all the words are there. And what about closure? Should we add closure or no?
I'm gonna add
Yeah.
it.
I would.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got to add that one. Because if you don't have closure, then that means that thing just keeps popping up 6, 8, 10, 12 years later. We still arguing about that every time we got an argument.
Yeah,
you bring up.
yeah. You right.
Yeah. So you have to have closure. We done with this, right, babe? What do we need to do to get past this? Because every time you get hurt, every time I say something, you got to bring up the fact that I threw your mama out. I thought we had talked about that 5 years ago.
Mama still ain't got nowhere to live. That's why
Yeah,
bringing it up.
right.
Homeless.
Right. Your mama was out of order and I put her out. When we gonna get past this? You know what I'm saying?
Them trigger words is real.
Right. Because every time the argument's over, you said what? What you say? And there we go, bing, bing, and that's what did the young people say? And that's how the fight got started. You know what I'm saying? And so I think you have to have closure. There are some things you have to put to rest or let go and let God. And if you can't, then exit stage left. Because there's some things I ain't gonna never forgive you for. I gotta have closure, and I can't look at you and forgive you for what you did. Because there's some things in relationships that are unforgivable. And so you either gonna forget it, maybe not forget it, but you're gonna forgive and you're gonna put closure so you guys can move to the next phase. Okay, you staying with him. He cheated on you. She cheated on you. He had another baby inside of the marriage. Okay, if you're gonna forgive him, put closure on it, wrap that thing up in a bow, and be done with it. Or make whatever moves you need to make sure. So I think closure is huge.
Right. I'm glad you explained that deep.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I was against closure at first.
Yeah. Until me and you argue about your mama, what I said to your mama 12 years ago. I told you I was sorry about that, Coach. You just keep bringing it up. Every time she comes to visit, we got to cash that out again about your mama. I didn't mean to say that to your mama. I said I was sorry.
That's that trigger. That trigger.
Did we say coachable?
No, coachable.
RG, I think me and you go have a conversation before we go live every time. Because we gonna get it out. We gonna get it all out.
I'm sorry. I didn't bring my personal things to the meeting. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Hey,
Coach,
experience is the best teacher.
I didn't have closure when me and Coach was together. I didn't have closure. I just, I did.
What about completeness? Being complete.
Oh, that's good.
What was the word?
I didn't hear you, Trace.
So completion,
Completeness.
completeness.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, that's
so
a.
one of the things that I've noticed is, and I come from, oh, I hate sometimes bringing in my HR aspects, but you know, from the emotional intelligence perspective, a lot of people have gone through things where they're not truly complete in their self. So that goes to aspects of healing and being whole. Because when you're complete, it's kind of like two broken people coming together, or knowing where you are in your completeness. So hopefully you're going to attract what you are in that sense. Because sometimes people can try to pull you, or you don't realize. So many times people don't realize that they're actually being pulled backwards because someone, it could be draining them because they're not completing themselves and is sucking the life out of them. Because, and I've been there, giving so much emotionally and spiritually where it actually depleted me as I was going in through my process of being completed. So then that left me wounded coming out of a relationship where he got built up, and now I have to rebuild because I was sucked dry.
Mhm. From a
And he
negative place.
wasn't there to cover me. He really wasn't equipped to cover me for where I am spiritually, for where I am emotionally, and so forth. So all of this just all comes full circle. So completeness in one.
It's good. Drop the mic. T. Morgan.
I'm
Shit.
gonna have a Will moment.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna have a Will, my brother.
I'm
Where
nervous.
is he
What
at?
kind of wheel moment? Wait a minute. We saw some different styles of wheels, so I'm nervous.
It's all good.
Okay.
So I like it classy, but yet be cheerful as I'm curious, but also be conscientious of the surroundings of the things that are happening.
Oh, I was waiting for another stanza, but okay.
I told you I had a little Will moment. That's for
He
you,
left
Will.
us.
Great,
You
great,
you should have
great.
used
We were
complete.
there.
You all you had to do was do a line with complete, and we'd have known that was the end.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey,
That's it.
complete was already said, so you know.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you
that's
so
all
much.
right.
Start.
So classy, conscientious, creative, and cheerful.
And celebrate. Did we say that? No,
No,
celebration.
no.
Really
Mhm.
celebrating your partner.
Mhm. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Isha. Let me get off of that. I gotta say this real quick. Hold on.
Don't say it. Go say it.
I dated a couple of gentlemen who had never been celebrated. So me being me, and Isha, you know me, I celebrate people. Small. I believe we're going to celebrate the small things because the small things lead to the big things.
Yes.
Facts.
And it was hard for them to receive.
Mhm.
It was so hard, and that dealt with completeness in my eyes. And that's just real. There was a connection there, but they never been celebrated, and it made it difficult. It made it difficult. So celebrating others, but being able to receive being celebrated is real.
It is.
Yeah.
And I've experienced the same thing, Tracy. You meeting people or dating people, or dating, not necessarily courting. Just people that have a hard time being celebrated. They just don't know how to receive it. They don't know what to do with it. I told a story a couple lives ago. It was about a young girl who was dating an older gentleman. And she said they had been dating for about 6 months, and it was his birthday coming up. Well, his birthday month. And so she sent him a gift a week for the month. And then at the end of the month, they went on a trip to Vegas. And so the trip in Vegas, she booked the room, decorated the room, did all of these things. And so they went on a trip. And when they went back to their respective places, because he was in LA and she was in Florida. And so when they went back to their respective places, he ghosted her. And so she said within that 6 months, she had gotten to know his friends, was in one of his friends' weddings. It was a relationship. And so she said that she reached out to one of his closest friends, and his friend said he wasn't used to women celebrating him in that way, and it made him uncomfortable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he didn't do number one.
Communicate.
Because I don't think she would have done all of that had she known that he's not, or she wouldn't have put all that on him all at one time.
I think it comes with the mindset thing. Because as you ladies are talking, and definitely Coach, said it, communication. But I am one of those brothers that I've always been the person that gave, but receiving on the receiving end of it, I'm not used to any. I've never had anybody pay a bill, pay the rent. No, I've not had that type, but in a mindset because I'm used to being the person that's doing the giving. Uh, the celebrating means a lot because that to me is a form of acknowledging what I do. That's acknowledging me for my acts of service. I mean, and I can't speak about it enough. So it is a little weird, you know, when moments that I've been celebrated, but I think it's a mindset thing. You have to renew your mind. If you're not used to certain things, and those are the things, especially that you want, you have to renew your mind and prepare to be celebrated. All right. It goes back to what Tracy, has been echoing all night, dealing with those childhood traumas, figuring things out, completing yourself because you can't expect for a person to complete you. You know, RG Bree, you can't complete me. I got to be whole. So two wholes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they say two halves make a whole. I kind of disagree with that because if I'm a whole person and you're a whole person, then we join to be a bigger whole. So, I think it's a mindset change. And if you ladies are running into those issues with brothers and they don't know how, that's spelling out counseling immediately, not immediately, immediately. So just taking that into consideration that you're gonna have to put in some work on that brother because he's got some deep rooted hurts and issues.
So I'm gonna ask my brothers because I know that y'all gonna give me godly advice, right? I think both of y'all know me personally, and y'all know I am one who, I'm the one setting up virtual dates and sending this and scheduling walks in the park and all of these other things. And sometimes you can find yourself giving and giving and doing, Brian, to your point, and then that person doesn't reciprocate. I wish reciprocate was a C word. Um, and then they don't reciprocate. And then you find yourself giving, 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 and then you find yourself empty. So, how, as a woman, do I communicate that to my person?
I think it goes back to understanding what his love language is. You understand his love languages, then you may shift some of those things. But I think at the end of the day, and Coach has said it from the very beginning, be open, just be transparent. I think nothing is better than just being vulnerable and transparent. Because to me, somebody do them things for me, and I'm not sure who said it earlier, but if a woman does those things for me, then it's just my giving nature. Oh, I gotta top her. I gotta love her more. You know what I'm saying? I gotta top her little virtual date. You
Y'all
know?
ain't normal though. Y'all ain't
What do you
normal.
mean?
Right.
Oh no.
Not.
That's you said it. You said you ain't got no scrubs. So Coach and I are the extraordinary
That's what I'm
gentlemen.
saying.
We're not the ordinary gentlemen. We extraordinary.
That's what I'm saying. We're not running into y'all though when we dating.
Well,
Y'all are
that's
great men in our lives. We ain't running into y'all, just so you know.
but the same
Coach,
rules
Coach,
apply.
I didn't mean what I said about your mom. I'm sorry. Sorry.
So we know
Sorry.
RG Breed the one keep bringing it up, right? In arguments.
Oh man.
Coach, what you got, Coach? What you got on how can you answer Isha's question?
Um,
I think communication.
but I
is-
think but before you do all that, you got to make sure that man is already healed.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
Completeness.
make sure,
Yeah. Completeness.
yeah, absolutely, Tracy. I think you said that earlier. Yeah, make sure that person is healed, because
Come on, Coach.
if the couple you were talking about, did she know if that man was healed from that?
Well, obviously not.
So, but has she, probably take the time. Yes, it's his birthday, but everybody celebrate their birthday different.
Mm-hmm.
I take on my, my birthday for the last 5 years, I've been taking myself out the country
Mm.
because I've never had somebody, my significant other, to be like, "Hey, baby, listen, I'm gonna throw you a party. I'm gonna do this and that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get all your friends over." Okay, cool. Since I've never had that experience, I put that pressure on me to take myself out the country. Now, if I'm dating at that time or courting or whatever stage y'all want to talk about, then yeah, I may say, "Hey, let's go out the country to celebrate my birthday." But most of the time, I go by myself because that's my reflection year,
Mhm.
or that's when my reflection year starts.
Mhm.
That's
So
good.
Now, Coach, let me ask you a question. You're in a relationship. You guys are courting. You're about to done. You're about to ask her to marry you. And if that's your reflection, that's the time when you go and take care of me, myself, and I. Right? What if you want to continue that and you have someone and it's your birthday? Do you think you're obligated to take her with you on those reflective trips? Or
nope. But
should she understand that that's your time, that you want to be by yourself with yourself so you can come back whole and healed and healthy and happy for her?
I think a person should take at least 4 trips a year. One by yourself, one with your spouse, one with your children, one with your family, and then the fifth one with you and your girls, or one with you and your boys.
Okay.
It's good stuff.
Okay. Well, that's good stuff. Okay.
And so if you shouldn't feel obligated to take her, if she knows you and she knows that, like, okay, this is your birthday, cool. One year I took somebody with me, but I don't think she should put the pressure on. Well, you're not about to go to Cancun by yourself for your birthday, or you're not about to go to Miami. I don't think that pressure should not be there.
But it's because it's understood from the beginning that you do these things.
Absolutely.
Got
That's why
Gotcha. Gotcha.
That's why I'm glad, Coach, my friend. I keep my bag packed. Coach say French trip, I'm going.
Again, I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to talk about your mama. Don't leave me again. Don't leave me, Coach. Don't.
No,
Coach,
y'all
know
good. Y'all good.
Coach, no, I stay ready. All right, y'all. This was so good.
Yes.
This was so good. I feel like I can make it. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all that you have poured into the conversation tonight. Again, I'm so blessed to have some amazing people in my life. I love y'all for real. B Starks, I love you. T Morgan, I love you, girl. RG Breed, I told you I love you 3 times a day.
And I love you back for it.
I love you.
I love you, honey
I
bunny.
love y'all. I appreciate y'all for all that you give of yourselves. And so, with that being said, we out of here. We out of here. Adios. See you on Tuesday.
Make sure y'all pack y'all bags tonight.
Thanks. Because Coach taking us all on vacation.
We out of here, Hedgehog.
Coach, I'm finna holler. I'm finna get on a flight, and I'll be there with you.
There you go. Cool.
He said he
I'm
flying
always
us
ready for a trip.
He's
Hey, you
flying
know
us
what?
all
We all should take a trip. We all should take a trip and do a live wherever we decide to go.
What
Oh,
did I not just say that last
wait
yesterday?
a minute.
What
Hold
did I
on,
just
time out.
say?
We're about to tell the people we out here. Holla back.
Oh.
We'll see y'all on Tuesday.